Bonjour, today's video is about the simple future tense in French, le futur simple. To be looking specifically is understanding how to use it, as in what it is and when to use it. Surprisingly enough, we're going to start with looking at how not to build it to make sure we avoid from the start a common mistake that I have seen times and times again. And finally, of course, we're going to see how to build it properly and make sure we are accurate when we speak and write. First of all, we need to know what the simple future tense is. It is one of the French future tenses. You know, there's several of them, but this one is to talk about what you will do in the future. I will play, I will go, I will watch. So from the moment you see will in English, it is the simple future. What it is not is the near future that we have already seen. I'm going to travel, I'm going to arrive. You do not have the will, it is not the simple future. So just making sure we don't have a confusion there. Now, how not to build it. Okay, so let's be clear, this is what we should never ever do. Is, for example, if we want to say you will leave, what we are not going to do is check in the dictionary how to say you, find tu, check in the dictionary how to say will, find testament, check in the dictionary how to say leave, find habiter, put it all together and have tu, testament, habiter. That is simply not correct. It does not mean anything and should not ever at all be used. The big mistake here that's been made is to try and translate will. Unfortunately, that word testament is a will that is being left behind by someone who has passed away. So it's not the right word that we need. So then you probably say will in French. You don't. As simple as that. You don't say will. Okay? We're going to see how it works, but there's a couple of reminders we need first, okay? So you will know that there are three types of verbs in French, and those three types depend on how they spell at the end, okay? So when you look at an action in a dictionary, it can end in ER, for example, parler, it can end in IR, for example, finir, or it can end in RE, for example, vendre. Okay, and after that we need to remember the pronouns. In case you wonder, a pronoun is a word that is used to replace a noun. So if you speak about your brother, he, my sister, she, my parents, they. So you know all of the English ones. So in French, je, tu, il and elle. We, if we're talking in an informal way, is on. We, in a more formal way, nous. You all, or you plural, vous, and they, masculine and feminine, il and elle. Remember the S is there because it's plural, but it is silent. Just so we're clear about one thing, guys, how do you say will in French? You don't. Remember that. Okay, there'll be a few more reminders, but it is important to remember that. Let's take an example for ER verbs. They are the most common verbs, so we're going to use these to start. So if we wanted to say you will leave, there's three steps to follow. The first one is to make sure we have the right pronoun. So you is tu. So very simply, we are starting with tu. You have night in yellow. The second step is to keep the infinitive, the ER in this case. So if you look up to live in a dictionary, you will find habiter ends in ER. We just leave it as it is. Because we are on tu, we are going to be following this pattern here. And step number 3, we are going to add the correct ending. So there's a variety of endings depending on who does the action. So tu habiteras. We would need to add to this the A and the S. Now, if it's not an ER verb, it could be an IR and an RE verb. The good thing is it's actually quite simple. Still the 3 steps, the pronoun does not change. The only difference here is coming for the RE verb. You can see the IR verb, we keep the infinitive, nothing different there. But when it's a RE verb, we're going to remove the E. Okay, not keeping the E for those. And of course, we are adding the endings. the endings are the exact same one as they were for the ER verb. So it's actually quite easy to remember. There's only so many of them. And if you want to remember, how do we remember about the E to be removed? Well, if you finish the verb vendre there at the top with an E, how would it look then adding the A and the I? So in French, it's not a combination of letters we really have, so that's how you remember to remove that. Now let's see an example together. If we wanted to say he will love, there's a will, so we know that it's the simple future. So step number 1, the right pronoun. In this case, he is il. Step number 2, is it an ER, IR, RE verb? So we check in the dictionary and we find to love, and to love is adorer, ER at the end. So remember, we keep it. We only change that if it's RE. Step number 3, we add the correct ending. So we go back in the video, we check in our grid, and for il, we know that we need to add an A. Il adorera. And that is how you say he will love. How do you say will? Great, you still don't. You've seen it before. Il adorera, there is no word for will. All we do is keep a part and add the ending. Always some irregulars. I'm not going to give them all to you, but it's important to have the main ones. So I will be in French, je serai. I will have, j'aurai. I will go, j'irai. I will do, je ferai. I will be able to, je pourrai. I will have to, je devrai. Like I said, not all of them, but the main ones you need. And of course, those 4 ones there are the main ones that you guys need. I hope that this was useful. Thank you very much guys for watching the video, but remember, learning a language, you will be making mistakes, so make them, get some feedback, and improve and learn from them. And just one last thing. Again, how do we say will? Great, I'm sure you know it by now. Merci, au revoir.